before. All right. So this is our 6 Dash to Director training, and I am so excited because we have the beautiful Blair Sells has joined us. And you guys, I think everybody knows who she is. As soon as I posted this morning, everyone was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to listen to her. I'm so excited. I've never been on a call with Blair. And so Blair, you are a superstar in our Zaya world for sure. And I appreciate you so much. So I'm just going to turn it over to you. I asked her to kind of speak on recruiting or just anything that she felt would be really helpful to our team. I know that anything that she blesses us with tonight is going to be amazing. So Blair, if you just want to maybe share just a little background about who you are for those that may not know you, which I think everyone does, but thank you again so much. You are so generous to do this call for us, and I appreciate you so much.
Oh, Megan, that is amazing. I love this. I love seeing everybody hopping on tonight. I am Blair Sells. I'm a double Zaya and have been with the company since the beginning of 2018. So I adore this company, this brand. I love it so much. I live it, breathe it. And I was just really honored to be invited to speak with you guys tonight. So I wanted to ask real quick, you said this is your 6 Dash to Director call?
Yep.
Okay, so
yep.
I was going to ask you, do we have reps on here who are like all ranks under director?
Yep. We have all ranks, even those that are rank advanced beyond director join on the calls because we always pull something from every call. So, yep.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. I just wanted to kind of get a feeling for our crew tonight, because I'm guessing then that some of you have recruited, some of you maybe haven't started building a team yet, but maybe that's on your radar. So I will just jump right on into my notes for tonight. But it was really funny when Megan asked me if I could talk about recruiting. I kind of, my heart stopped beating for a second, because this is something that I'm still growing in and still developing in my Zaya business, even 5 years later. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, I want to tell her no, but I didn't, because I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to come in and talk with you in my journey, not as an expert with like a magic formula for recruiting, but as just a normal everyday Zaya rep who is always pursuing growth right alongside all of you guys. Okay. So I put together a couple notes for tonight. Really when it comes down to, though, if you have a hobby mindset, you earn hobby money. And if you have a CEO mindset, you earn CEO money. So I know that you're on this call tonight because you want the latter, right? You are excited to build your businesses. You're excited to grow in this company. You're taking it more from just a hobby to something that is something that you're leveraging. So I am really excited to talk with you guys tonight about what I've learned along the way in recruiting, and maybe some steps that will help kind of set you up for those conversations in a really successful way. And I feel like as a business owner, as a CEO of your business, we want to always play the long game, right? We're looking not just to month end. We're not looking just a quarter ahead or half a year ahead. We are looking years down the road. All right. And the best way that we can build insurance into our business and leverage our time and income is by building a team. All right. So tonight we are going to talk about 3 things. All right. We're going to keep it really simple. I always like to keep my trainings really simple because I feel like that's the easiest way to learn. We're going to talk about, first of all, what we are selling and what we aren't selling when it comes to the business. We are also going to talk about the language that we use when we're talking to people about the business. And then we are going to touch on what I call how to sponsor responsibly. All right. I'm a big proponent of that, and I'll just kind of tell you what that is in a little bit. But first of all, when we are talking with our prospects and when we're, putting those posts out into the world about Zaya, we have to be really cognizant of what we are selling to our audience. Okay. We're selling an opportunity that can help somebody overcome an obstacle. That's all it is. We don't have to overthink it. All right. What we are doing is we are identifying their pain points and their problems, and then we've got a solution. Zaya is a solution, whether that is time, whether that is money, whether that is a sense of belonging. I feel like Zaya is the solution. So if we can identify those pain points right off the bat, those will resonate with your audience, because I guarantee you they're going to think about one, if not all three of those. All right. So when we're posting, when we're sharing the business, we're just helping our audience overcome these pain points with an additional income stream, with our Zaya community. You know, when you spot a moon, you spot a friend. We're also helping them make choices and have choices when it comes to their time and their finances. Okay. So all of these things are byproducts of our business opportunity. But I also have to remind people that you can't sell anything. You can't sell a bomber bra, you can't sell a pair of light and tights, and you cannot sell this business if you haven't first sold yourself. All right. We are not selling a quick fix at Zaya. All right. We're not selling an overnight success. Excuse me. We're not selling a cure all. All right. We're not selling a fancy AF lifestyle. That is not what we do. All right. We are selling work. And that leads me to kind of my second point tonight, which is the language that we're using when we are talking with people. Okay. So just like a brick and mortar business, I think the cool thing about being the CEO of your business is that you get to choose who you want to work with. You get to hire the best and most qualified people to join your team. And realistically, you get to vet your prospects ahead of time through the conversations that you have with them. And, you know, the energy that you put out into the world, that's what you're going to attract back. So the language that you use, whether you're posting, whether you're meeting a girlfriend for coffee or you're doing a FaceTime, the language that you use to create your content, it all matters. It all is part of that vetting process. Okay. So a couple of things I want you to think about when you are posting and sharing the business with your audience. Number one, are you using passive language or are you using active language? I think that's really important because I think especially in our industry, we hear so much of passive income, residual income, monetizing your scroll. These are all passive things. So you are going to attract passive people in your business. But if you switch it up and you talk actively, you talk about like leveraging your income, you talk about intentional work and intentional time, you're going to attract active people who want to work their business. All right. And kind of the same thing when you're talking about nooks and crannies. Like, I really hate that phrase because that is attracting people who may make the time for Zaya if it works, if it fits. But we all know that life gets busy, things get in the way. And if you haven't sold them on intentional time that it takes to build their business, then they're just not going to work it. All right. I also want you to think about in your language, are you marketing to consumers? Like on your phone, are you marketing to the people that just sit and scroll at night on their couch? Or are you marketing to the people who are creating content, people who are engaged, who are having, who are active in their life, things like that. So I just think that that's a really, it's a dichotomy when it comes to those two types of people. And I also want you to think about, are you speaking from a place of desperation or inspiration? Because you can tell. You can see it in anybody's posts, any company out there, you can tell where that energy is coming from. So I really want to make sure that when we're posting from a place of inspiration. All right. And I know you're like me, like we just want to attract people like us who want to work, who are vision driven instead of incentive driven, and who really want to think long term rather than short term. So that's always who I'm thinking of when I'm posting. When I'm putting content out there, I really never talk about the rep discount. I don't really talk about a quick fix. When I do talk about an additional income stream, I'm talking about like how that is a long-term thing. And I'm talking about the work and the effort that it takes to build that, so that I'm attracting people who aren't afraid of some good old hard fashion work. All right. And honestly, you guys, that doesn't mean that every person that joins your team is going to just hit the ground running. Okay. It is a fact that, like, I think 1 out of 10 people are really going to dive into their business. Some fizzle, that's normal, but at least you can start the process by recruiting people who are willing to kind of work through those expectations together. All right. So then my last little point tonight is, how do we sponsor responsibly? And this is something that I've been a big proponent about since the beginning of my business, because from day one, I've always wanted to sell the rule, not the exception in our business. I do this on our new rep onboarding calls. I do this on coaching calls. I always give clear expectations. And what I mean by this is that it's really easy, you guys, to point to the unicorns in any company, not just Zaya, but in any company. The ones who rose to the top really quickly, the ones who have like massive following and influence on social media, the ones who have huge teams. Like, the unicorns are exciting, right? Because that gives us the idea of potential in this channel. But I really think that we need to normalize the rule rather than the exception. Okay. We need to normalize the everyday work with our prospects. We need to normalize small actionable items add up daily. And we need to focus on value over viral, and why it's worth it even when it's hard. Okay. On our new rep onboarding calls, I normalize obstacles that come up in our business. And I think it's really important because things happen, right? Like, launch parties can bomb sometimes. There may not be a lot of engagement in your VIP group off the bat. You may make a post about your new business venture and not get a lot of interaction in that post. And if you don't normalize that that can happen, your new reps are going to get really scared. I think they're going to get defeated. They may walk away. They may ghost you. But if you normalize that and you're like, okay, no worries, that's just all part of the business. So now we make a plan. What are we going to do next? Then it won't throw them off course. All right. And I also think when we sponsor responsibly, that we really need to celebrate those small wins. The first post that they make, the first live, their first sale, these small wins all help your new reps create belief in themselves. And that creates big wins down the road in their business. Okay. So I will just kind of, leave you guys with this. Like, when you have your own back and you're 100% in belief in yourself, 100% in belief in your audience that they want what we have, and you are 100% belief in this company, you can sell anything. Okay. You can recruit your best and most qualified people, but we have to sell the work, the process, and the vision in addition to the reward. And that's setting your people up to stay. All right. So that's kind of all I had. I was going to see what I'm missing over here in the comments.
Oh my gosh. I feel like you just talked for 15 minutes and I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't write fast enough. And now I'm maxed. I have it on a tiny little, I'm going to have to rewatch this. It was so good, Blair. And it was 15 minutes of like pure gold. I'm not even kidding. Like, so much goodness. Because I was just thinking too, the other day, I was thinking when I was reading, like, just when you scroll through and you see like reps across our whole company. And I was thinking that about desperation posts, like, especially when we're running promotions and
and month end too.
yes,
Like, they're going to pop up tonight and tomorrow. I guarantee it, all over the place.
yes. And I was,
But we can do better.
Yeah. So I love that, the inspiration versus desperation, and just vision, vision incentive driven, because that's kind of like, especially again with this promotion, we're kind of like in that zone of like, it doesn't matter, I'm going to sign up anyone, I just want to get them signed up, but if we kind of shift that mindset so that it's a long term and you're consistently signing up reps and not just throughout like a promotion period. And So
And I think that all just goes back to the intangibles in our business rather than, promoting the carrot all the time. It's like all the intangibles, all the cool, fun stuff that we can't measure in this business. That's what keeps people around. That's what motivates them to show up to work every day. There doesn't have to be an incentive or a carrot for them to come to work.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. That was so good. Does anyone have any questions for Blair before she jumps off to get to her family and make sure her son's not late for practice? I appreciate her getting on. I thought it was amazing. So many tips. But does anyone have a quick question for her at all? Anybody? I know there was a
You guys are so sweet. Thank you for having me. This has
Yes.
been so fun. I love seeing everybody's faces.
Yes, thank you, Blair, so much. We loved it. I know everybody is. I have texts too that I have to re-listen to this right away because people loved it. So appreciate
Oh,
you so much,
I
Blair.
thank you for having me and good luck with the rest of your month, you guys, and your Dash to Director program. How long is this program?
This will end the end of March, so it was just the first 3 months.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah. So we
cool.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, bye, you
All right,
guys.
bye, Blair. Thank
Bye.
All right, guys, I'll just update you real quick. Oh my gosh. So that was so good. 15 minutes of goodness, like lots of notes. I'm going to post the recording right away because I just had 3 people text me already and said, I have to re-listen to this because I couldn't write my notes fast enough. So I promise you I will get it posted as soon as possible and I'll also email it out. But is there any comments or any questions on anything that she had to say at all? Anybody have anything or anything to add? Would be awesome. If not, you guys, we will be scheduling our March calls and getting those out to you for dates. But we'll have a call the first full week of March would be like March 6th week. So next week we'll have another Dash to Director call. But does anybody have anything at all? Nice and short and sweet, but full of goodness. Nobody? Anybody? Everybody's so quiet. Okay, well, you guys, that was 20 minutes and everybody's done. And I'll post this call and I'll get it emailed out. For those of you on your team that weren't on, I would encourage them to listen because it's an easy 15-minute listen. So thank you all for jumping on so much. And I will talk to you guys later.